What's up, people? We are about to get another cardio in, but since we got another Qbounti, we're going to get this Qbounti question knocked out first. So this Qbounti says that with RFK Jr. betraying the family name and betraying independence, presumably he means by endorsing Trump, it seems like his goal was to chase power and relevancy all along. What do you think? Man, listen, it's hard to not think that as far as RFK Jr.'s decision making during this election, because a lot of it has not made any sense even up until this point. So we're going to separate RFK Jr. and who we've known him to be prior to him running for office, and principally prior to October 7th, and just keep it within the framework of this election, okay? First of all, this man allowed Dennis Kucinich to walk over the Israel-Palestine issue. Dennis Kucinich being probably one of the foremost experts as far as American politicians are concerned regarding the issue. Instead of taking his advice, he lets Dennis Kucinich walk, and a large portion of his base walked with him, okay? Didn't make any sense. But then he allows his recent daughter-in-law, who's also literally a spy, become his campaign manager. That's ridiculous on a number of levels, but just from a strategic perspective, she has zero experience running a presidential campaign or any campaign for that matter. Didn't make any sense. A lot of the issues that RFK Jr. is actually great on, Trump is the opposite. Not to mention, I'm not exactly confident that Trump will allow, or at least rather his administration will allow RFK Jr. to make positive change on the issues that he actually is good on, which are issues of public health and the environment. But even still, it's not like Trump was the only person he contacted, because he also tried to get into the Kamala administration. He talked to both teams. So it looks like just from a bird's eye view, how else could anyone take this other than it looks like you were clout chasing, bro. It looks like you wanted a job. That's what it looks like. And a lot of people would consider this a betrayal. Because make no mistake about it, he did do something historic by being an independent who made, I think, every single ballot, at least all the ballots that mattered. He had enough to get 270 delegates in the Electoral College, which means he could have won. But now he's requesting that all those swing states that he managed to get on the ballot for, which is difficult to do, he wants to be taken off, although a lot of those requests are actually going to be denied. But he requested to be taken off. Y'all don't see a problem with that? It costs millions and millions of dollars. In some cases, like in New York, for example, he damn near went bankrupt trying to stay on the ballot. And ironically, now that might not be a waste of money because he's trying to take votes away from Kamala, but Kamala's going to win, right? Kamala's going to win New York, so it doesn't matter. But he almost went bankrupt fighting for that state because people were donating. And they donated that money assuming that he was going to fight to win. So in a situation where he actually was running to win, it wouldn't be considered a waste of money. But now he's like, yeah, you can vote for me in whatever solidly blue or red state. It doesn't matter because we know who's going to win those. But you spent millions trying to get on the swing state ballots too. And now those don't mean anything? Like, how could you not feel betrayed as an RFK supporter? And people who've worked for RFK, people who are supporting RFK, they've told me that they do feel betrayed. They don't know where to go. A lot of them like Jill Stein, but their main point is that they can't believe how much money and energy was wasted. And even though they understand how frustrated RFK is at the Democratic establishment, and rightfully so, I'll be clear about that, his frustrations with them are justified. They are pissed because it's like you had a lot of the same complaints policy-wise about Trump. It seems like the only difference is Trump was willing to give you the time of day, and therefore you are leaning more into Trump rather than doing what we expected him to do, which was hold both sides of the establishment accountable. Like I said, the unfortunate reality is, some people might disagree with me, we do have a lesser of two evils in this particular race. I do believe that Trump is actually a lesser of two evils. The less pragmatic evil, he is the evil that you can actually call out. He is a less predictable evil to some degree, in the sense that sometimes he will appease his base and do things that are actually good, like choosing not to start more wars, for example. Hell, and I mean, the genocide and the war in Ukraine didn't start under Trump. It started under Biden and Kamala. And Kamala promised to continue both of those policies, right? Trump is all over the place. We don't know what he's promising. But I understand maybe from RFK's perspective, okay, this is a better option to try to work for this guy because of how unpredictable he is. But y'all remember his loyalty to Steve Bannon? Steve Bannon helped Trump become the popular figure that he is. The moment that the establishment told him to throw him out, this man was fired, thrown out the White House, is in jail for being part of the reason that Trump is who he is. So what do you think they'll do to RFK? You get what I'm saying? Like, for RFK's motives, it makes more sense to use the momentum that you gain to challenge from outside of the establishment rather than trying to change the government from inside. You should know, you, out of all people, being a Kennedy, understanding how the intelligence community functions and how they've affected your family, you should know there is no changing the government, the U.S. government, from the inside. It only comes from force from the outside, basically leaving them feeling like they don't have a choice but to pass policies that actually benefit us. In a rare occasion that happens. But doing it from the inside, I mean, I guess you could expose the corruption, but that's about it. But how much more corruption do we need exposed? We already know everything is going on. We know how bad it is there. So, but, you know, it's hard not to feel like he wasn't just chasing a job at this juncture. It's hard not to feel like that. Not gonna lie.